Hey everyone, this is the Gadget Guru. In this video, I'm going to go over a deck that's been kind of being hyped up lately. It's a good deck. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good deck. I'm not saying it's a bad deck. I'm just saying it's been hyped a lot. So I wanted to kind of go over the deck and point out how it works and some of the good parts, some of the bad parts to it. So let's get started. This deck is Exodia OTK, and it uses Dragon Tech to draw Exodia on like the first or second turn. Look, shiny Exodia, haha. Anyways, so it's based on Exodia, and some of the cards is like cards of constants. It says discard a level, discard a dragon tuner with less than 1,000 attack. So they use that with this little guy. This is the White Stone of Legend. When he's discarded to the graveyard, you can just search a Blue Eyes. Right here, raw Blue Eyes. So you use this, discard this, draw 2 cards, and search a Blue Eyes. So it's an automatic +1, and you draw 2 cards. So you're thinning your deck like ridiculously fast. Sometimes they'll also run Debris Dragon for this card, but normally they just run 3 of this and 3 of this. Maybe 1 Debris Dragon. It all depends on the build. So as I said, that searches that. And they run Tune Table of Contents to thin the deck and search these Blue Eyes Toon Dragons. Now these are just meant to get searched out of the deck and just make the deck smaller. Once they have these, they use these with Trade-In. Dump either of these and draw 2 cards with it. That's just those are some of the standard draw cards for the dragons. Just use this little combo. Just draw, and just keep abusing it more or less. And then, but of course, I mean, that's not all they run. They've got to run other draw cards. They run Upstart Goblins. It's a free draw. Reloads, get your hand really big, reload. Get better cards. Dark World Dealings. Draw 1, discard 1. And Hand Destruction. Discard 2, draw 2. Or send 2 to the grave, draw 2. They also use cards like Thunder Dragon and Tune Table of Contents to thin the deck out so they can get their better cards faster. And then after they've done all that, after they discard all those dragons, they use Super Rejuvenation. What this card does is for every dragon discarded or tributed during the turn you activate this card, during the end phase, you draw that many cards. So they discard like 5 dragons, activate Super Rejuvenation, draw 5 cards. And you can run 3 of these in the deck. So it's like play it, draw 5, play it, draw 5, play it, draw 5. That's 15 cards right there. Not counting what they searched out of their deck or discarded, or because they run 3 trade-in, 3 cards of constants, 3 hand destruction, 3 dark world dealings. They go through the deck very fast, very fast. Some problems with the deck is a lot of people were thinking you could get a big hand of dragons, like say you had 9 cards during your end phase, and they would say, okay, well during the end phase, I'll discard down to 6, so I discard 3 dragons, then I'll activate Super Rejuvenation, so I draw 3 cards, or draw 5 cards, the 2 they discard in that turn, plus the 3 they discard at the end of the turn. I'm going to tell you right now that doesn't work, and why is because technically, by game mechanics, during the end of your turn, you don't discard the cards, you send them to the graveyard. They are not discarded, so you can't use Super Rejuvenation. You technically have to reduce your hand size to 6, which means you send them, not discard. Because it's a game mechanic. Discard is for an effect, or a cost, one of the two. That's the only way you can discard. During the end phase, when you have to reduce your hand to 6, you're sending them to the graveyard. So you can't use Rejuvenation for those dragons. Another thing you want to make sure of, if you verse someone who's using this deck, remember, if they discard a dragon for hand destruction, they don't get to draw for Super Rejuvenation off those dragons. Hand Destruction says send to the graveyard, not discard. This must have them discarded. I've seen people lose games because people go Hand Destruction, discard Blue Eyes, draw 2. Hand Destruction, discard like Blue Eyes White Dragon, discard the White Stone of Legend, draw 2. And then they'll activate this and draw 4, and the opponent's like, okay, that's fine. No, you can't do that. So that's just a real quick little ruling thing on that there. So remember, if they discard during the end phase, they can't draw for Dragon Rejuvenation. If they use Hand Destruction, they can't draw for Dragon Rejuvenation. And as for siding against this deck, like, what would I suggest you side? Honestly, I would say Prohibition. That's all I can really think of. This deck is This deck is actually really good. Like, honestly, I don't have a real answer on how to kill this deck because it just is good, you know? I mean, it goes through its own paces really fast. Although, it's not perfect. It's not perfect in any way. Don't think, oh, it's an FTK, I'm just going to lose. Like, why would I even play in the regionals? This deck probably, if you get to the top tables, you probably won't see this deck. Because it's not that consistent. Can they get lucky? Oh, yeah. If they technically, anybody could get lucky. They could get lucky enough to go XO all day and win the regionals, you know? But the chances that's going to happen, not very likely. Just saying, not very likely it'll happen. Yeah, fairly inconsistent hands. You know, and of course, they run a deck with a lot of high-level monsters. So should they run into a problem where they draw a lot of, say they draw 2 Exodia pieces, 2 Blood Dragon, and a Super Rejuvenation, and, you know, say another card like Cards of Consonance, they have no plays. Most decks can capitalize on that. When you just, like, end turn, as soon as they figure out you're playing this deck, they're going to be like, oh, you're playing Exodia. Okay, I'm just going to unload on you now. And Blackwings, X-Sabers, Synchro Cat, all those can just unload on this deck, so usually you don't have to fear this deck too much. But like I'm just saying right now, it is a good deck. Like, it honestly isn't a bad deck. This is just, I was just trying to break down the deck, you know, show you some things you can do with this deck, show you some things you can do, and etc. Overall, will you see this deck at a regionals? Probably not. If you see someone running this deck, I'd give them a pat on the back, because that's a ballsy move. Like, honestly, that's pretty brave to run this deck at a regionals, because it's definitely not a very consistent deck most of the time. So, you know, I'm just saying, this is the breakdown of the deck. I hope this helps you guys in case you have to verse this deck. I don't think you will, but I'm just saying, just in case. So, this has been the Gadget Guru. I'll talk to y'all later. Alright, bye.